This is a video review of the Android radio system that I ordered from Aliexpress from a company called Shen Zhen Top Navi electronics company. It's for my 2013 Elantra, and as you can see, it's a perfect fit for the car. It installed very easily. If you didn't use a backup camera, you would have the whole thing installed potentially in about 15 minutes with no cutting of wires, just connecting of connectors. And even the USB and auxiliary in ports work down here. And it also includes a little USB connector that you can use for a keyboard or something. A lot of times people wonder how long these things take to boot up. I'm going to boot mine up here now. So the unit will take about 35 seconds before it's usable, but during that time, if you did want to use the backup camera, even though it's booting up, you can. The backup camera works, and it includes those nice lines down there to show you where you're or how close you are to things. The unit's still booting up. It includes your basic controls and whatnot here. You've seen the pictures, I'm sure, on eBay or AliExpress, the various units. A lot of times pictures don't show what's under here. I'll show you. Oh, there the unit's booted up. There's a USB port and a 8GB card that came with maps. And that, whoops, slide back in there. It does slide back in easily. I'm just hard to do with the camera. And over on this side, another TF slot for another expansion card. I put a 32GB one there. Seems to work great. I have a front view camera, and that shows the front view right there. That's how I've got it started or set up to boot. And I showed you the backup camera already. Let's see here. Here's the home screen. So I won't go through too many of the apps. You can look at many video reviews for the apps, but it does have the radio. Radio works terrific. It does have steering wheel control support. They all work terrific. So I can mute things. I can turn the volume up and down. I can change channels. I can change modes to go to the different things that the radio does. Back to the radio. It has phone controls down here. Those also work. You can actually program any of these buttons to do anything you want. Unit itself, the fit and finish is perfect. It really does look really good. Quality of everything feels quite good too. I'm really impressed. Just going to turn off this radio here. I'm going into Bluetooth. It's going out. I do wish the radio app just had an off button, but it doesn't. You have to go to another app to make it stop playing. It supports ODB2 connections to using that Torque app through Bluetooth to an OBD reader. I have one in my car. Let's see here. Oops, I can just sort of. Oops, I need to go home, and I put it on the second screen here. Came with a demo install of Torque. Torque will take a few moments to get connected to the Bluetooth adapter that's I've installed in the car. There it is, it's connected now. So if I go to real-time information, as I rev up the engine here a little bit, you can see the revs changing. I really haven't done too much with this yet. It's just in its default setup, but seems to work well. Let's see what else. It includes a GPS. This is oh, it says Copilot has stopped. It's odd. Copilot usually works quite well. Copilot's the app I chose to use. You can use any GPS app at all. It'll find you very quickly. That's how fast it found me. You might notice when you get it, there's a long cord that you'd normally run through here and up to here for the GPS sensor. In an Elantra, you really don't need to do that. It does come with a long cord and everything, but right in behind here is just a hollow spot. So if you use the magnet that comes with it to connect the GPS sensor just to the top of the radio, it'll sit right in behind there, gets the signal perfectly, no wires to run, really easy. Really, you're only going to need to run wires if you want to install a backup camera or a front camera like I've done. Let's see, what else to tell you about the unit? It's very, very responsive, I find. I don't have any complaints. I find the screen changes are good. Benchmark-wise, let's see if I can bring up the benchmark software here. Hopefully it'll show us what the last benchmark was. And just waiting for that to come up. I don't know if you can see that. It says 18646, which I assume is pretty good. That's interesting there. Do you notice that benchmark software scroll off the screen? You can just drag those things up. So the screen is 1024 by 600. I do recommend getting that versus the 800 by 600 screen. I feel like the quality of the screen is far superior to the 800 by 480 screens that my old stereo system had. This seems much better. It's got quite a few settings for adjusting where audio goes. Let's see here if I can get to that. The amplifier here's got a nice amplifier setup. Here you can tell it where you want the sound to sort of be focused, and or you can take and drag that around wherever you like. Let's go with one of the presets. So a lot of controls that are useful for car owners. This button here says on-off. It is on-off if you hold it, but if you just tap it, it's a back button. Very handy, very much like that. Let's see, what else to tell you about the unit? I think that's pretty much everything. It works well. It's very snappy, very easy to install. Mine up in here had two tabs that weren't aligning with my car. Like they were tabs for holes that my car didn't have. My car is a Canadian model, and I cut those tabs off, and it fits perfectly. Clicks in. It's very solid. So no worries about it. But I wonder why those tabs were there. Maybe different years of the car required those tabs to be present. Oh, sometimes the screen's advertised as 7 inches, sometimes as 8 inches, depending on the exact model of these Elantra radios. I got a ruler here on mine. If you can see, it's actually much closer to 8. It's 7 3/4 inches, the actual screen size, from edge there, from corner to corner. Let's see here, volume. Takes you to the map software, takes you to the main menu. Forward and back in the radio, eject. Oh, sorry, that's eject. That's equalizer over there. Radio and mute are the different buttons. And I think that concludes my video review. I definitely recommend this radio, and I even recommend the buyer, the Shen Zhen Top Navi electronics company on Aliexpress. They've been very good dealing with me back and forth with emails. When I've had questions, very responsive, great company, and total price was, with shipping, was $375 US. With the exchange, it came to pretty close to $450 Canadian with the exchange, and took about 10 days to arrive for the shipping method I picked. Oh, and no Canadian duty for me because they shipped it through Canada Post. That usually avoids Canadian duty, which is important for Canadian buyers because it can be quite expensive.